What's the best advice I could give you on what to do in those precious 3 minutes when you're standing in the wings just before you go on stage? Are you a competitive dancer and do you want to do your best? Of course you do. Okay, so stay tuned and I'm going to give you a really important tip. My name is Mariah-Jane Thies of the Radiant Dancer and Radiant Dance Teacher. And I know some things that you might not yet know about how your brain works. You might have heard of fight or flight. Well, what does that really mean? It means that when you are perceiving a threat, real or not, right, it's perceived, such as going on stage and performing your best. You're worried about it. You want to do your best. You know you're being judged, so it can be a perceived threat. When that happens and you go in fight or flight, it's pretty easy for your brain to get kind of hijacked and for it to go from an integrated state where the right and left brains are talking to each other and everything's great to a bit more of a stress state. And that could look like losing some coordination. Maybe those two hemispheres aren't talking together as well and you've lost some balance. You've lost your spatial awareness. You can't find center. All sorts of different things happen and it's different for everybody. It's kind of fascinating as to why it's different for everybody. Stay tuned for that. But right now just know, oh, I could be going into fight or flight. So there's a lot of training out there, mental skills training it's often called, to try to get you to have a better attitude about performing and to not worry about it. I think that's great. But I think that's almost like water that you put in a bucket. It's skills that you ideally have access to. But you're only going to have access to them if your brain can recall that. And if you can therefore use what you've learned, then you're going to be all right. But what if you've learned stuff, but it doesn't seem to be there for you when you need it? It's probably because you're getting into an unintegrated brain state where the stress is taking hold. And I kind of like to look at stress as like the ability to punch holes in your bucket. So let's say your brain's like your bucket. Stress comes along and punches holes in it. Sometimes they're little ones, sometimes they're big ones, sometimes you only got 2, sometimes you got 20. All these different stress punches. And then things like those mental skills that you put in all your practice, they can start to drain out of that bucket where you're like, I know I practiced, I know I rehearsed, but it's still draining out. There's a lot of things you can do to keep your container solid. Today, I'm just going to give you one, and I'm going to encourage you to check out the link in the description below if you want to find out about more of them, because there's quite a few. And you may resonate with the one I'm going to share with you right now, or you might go, that one's not for me, but I'm curious to know what some of the other ones are. Right? We're always different. So you're going to want a few tools in the toolbox, but for today, here's one. Okay, did you know that there's a huge portion of your brain that is taken up in what they call the sensory processing, whether that's taste and sight, smell. Touch is a huge one, in particular, touch of your hands. So here's my weird little tip that you can do backstage as a group, but I'm also giving you this tip. The reason I'm choosing this one today is you as a soloist, let's say, can do this, and you can do it discreetly. If you're trying to go, I don't know what I want to do backstage when other people are around. I don't want to be awkward and feel judged because I'm doing something weird. Okay, let's not do anything weird. Just hold hands with yourselves, practice little hand switching, rubbing. You can use them to touch on you. Touching up on your upper arm is actually very soothing. Anything you do that stimulates your hands, like you can be just tracing around your hand. Imagine you had like a pencil and you're just going to trace around your hand. Or think of like back in kindergarten where you're going to make like a turkey for Thanksgiving, and use your hand as the turkey and there's a okay. So anything that gets you paying attention to your hands, which again, I can do discreetly, I can hold them down and do something there, will help your brain to be in its sensory processing place because you're giving it something to notice. That means you're not in your thoughts spiraling and getting stressed. It means you're in your body. Sensing means you're in your body. Okay? So you could do hand games if you're with a partner or with a group. Obviously, you're not clapping loudly if you're backstage. You're going to be polite and respectful. But any stuff to do with your hands. And you might know, and for yourself or seen in others, seen in movies or TV shows, that when people are nervous, they often play with their hands. It's a natural self-soothing thing. So why not do it on purpose? Little hand stuff. Imagine you're putting on a hand cream. You could put, if you don't have weight on your hands parts in your dance, where you don't want to be slippery, putting on a hand cream in advance would be lovely, and then maybe just feel like you're massaging it in. Anything to do with your hands really lights up a huge portion of your brain, keeps it integrated, and keeps you from getting so stressed. Again, my name's Mariah-Jane Thies, the Radiant Dancer, Radiant Dance Teacher. I have a whole course suite of various things to do with this type of stuff. Brain integration, how to be in peak performance by using the tools of brain integration. I highly recommend you take a moment, not just to click subscribe, you know that part, but to check in the description, one of the links there about Backstage secret success strategies. And there's a course there that you can take that will give you a really full toolbox. So you as a dancer can be prepared. Share it with your fellow dancers in a group, of course, and maybe even with your teacher or studio owner. There's programs I can do for the whole studio if you all want to learn this type of stuff. But for right now, thanks so much for watching and your curiosity. And yay you, you got this. Ciao for now.